Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and we are here with day 131 of Coffee and MTG, the morning talk show where we talk all things Magic the Gathering. So brew up your cup of coffee and let's brew up the Magic conversation, because the first half of the show we go over Q&A and all go over news, latest topics of all things Magic, and then in the second half we do Decklist review. So if you want some feedback on your 75, or if you are looking to find out what a better win condition you could do, how to fix the mana base, how to change the deck to beat that mono red matchup, you better believe you can submit it here, and we will, both myself and the community will give you that feedback. So welcome. Let's do this another day in a row. Hey, Salud is around here. I just saw him walking around. You want to say good morning? Salud. Oh, he's coming. If I yell loud enough, he'll come. Oh, say good morning, Salud. Say good morning. Good morning to everyone. I'm gonna give you your own, table. I'm gonna give you the Salud table. You can just sit like right here or something, and then everyone can watch you sleep. You love to sleep. Can anyone see him right now? You can see his tail a little bit. He's running away. You found a nice rug or something. So welcome everyone. Good morning. I had an amazing sleep last night, but so amazing I didn't take time to wash my hair. That's okay. It's all good. We just get into it. We just have some fun. But I do need to switch the category that we're in as I usually do. Edit stream info. Magic the Gathering. We are not a podcast, technically. Good morning, Shadow Walker. Good morning, Reality. Good morning, Inquiry and Hero. Feels bad being a red mage and liking Nikachu. Are you a red mage? I couldn't even tell this entire time. There's a lot of red mages that like me. It's just how it is. Everyone likes me. I get along with everyone. Except the Lantern control players. F them. But I haven't had to speak to them in a long time. Same thing with the Affinity players. I guess anyone who ran Mox Opal, we didn't get along very well. You can be a podcast. I could be a podcast if I wanted to. You know what? I don't feel like putting in that effort. And Athenback, good morning. Okay, I have I think an interesting discussion for today will be how people feel about this new card, this new commander. There's a new card coming out in Commander Anthol. I don't know, the new Commander set, Commander Legends. A new card. There's millions of new cards, but there's one actually a little bit more controversial than the rest of them. That is a Jeweled Lotus. 0 mana. Sacrifice Jeweled Lotus. Add 3 mana of any one color. Spend this mana only to cast your commander. They reprinted Black Lotus, people. They reprinted Black Lotus. There it is. For the most quintessential card that you want to cast in the game of Commander. They reprinted it. I mean, early on in the game, you can just ramp into your commander. Late on in the game, your commander gets more expensive as time goes on. Jeweled Lotus will still be there to help you cast the damn thing. I'd be interested in hearing what people's takes are with this card. I mean, I don't really play all that much Commander, but I will say this has got to be a slam dunk include in any deck that is basically like 2 colors or monocolor. And then if your commander is just outrageously expensive, like 7 mana, then why not, right? Who doesn't want their commander in play by turn 1 to turn 2? We need more Nikachu news. Well, we'll see if I can get that green screen. The largest bear. Well, there's a lot of barriers to making Nikachu news, but another one is setting up the green screen, which was really annoying. But maybe it'll be easier here, and I can just leave it out. We got Hull Breacher and Legacy. What the hell is that? Hull Breacher. Oh, the Merfolk. But it's not. Oh, either it's not spelled that, or it's not in the Scryfall database yet. I know what you mean. There's like a 3 mana. I almost want to say a Notion Thief, but it gives you treasure tokens instead of drawing cards. I don't know if it's actually any good though. Yeah, want to brainstorm an opponent? Go for it. So can we find this Hull Breacher card? Oh yeah, it's Hull Breacher. A new Merfolk. Okay. This doesn't want to load. That's fine. Open view image. So we got a new Merfolk. I don't really think it's that good. 3 mana for a 3/2 flash creature, not too bad. But I don't know if the treasures are all that useful to Merfolk. Like, as if we need a whole lot of mana in the late game. I'd prefer the card. Well, I don't know. Mana may not be too bad. If an opponent would draw a card, except the first they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. And treasure tokens can be exchanged for mana. Basically, like 0 mana, add mana of any color. What are they, like Lotus Petals? Are they Lotus Petals? I think they're Lotus Petals. Sacrifice this artifact. Yeah, they're Lotus Petals. So getting back to the Jeweled Lotus discussion. Well, it's a commander-only thing, so formats won't have to worry about. Won't have to worry, right? That's correct, for the most part. Actually, I'm just wondering if it could be jammed in some Legacy deck that just needs a bunch of 0 mana cards. But I guess there's enough 0 mana cards that they could just play with Memnite over Jeweled Lotus. What's up, Fish Fam? Just saying hi before I go to vote. Good luck, Mikey J, and good morning. Good thing about EDH, it's more casual than competitive format, so having this card, I think people are super overreacting to it. But there's like a lot of really oppressive like commander cards that you can now have play in like by turn 1 or turn 2. What is Augustine? What's this? Oh, I didn't spell it right. What's that Augustine card? The blue-white taxing card. Deity Dryden plays this card. It's ridiculously annoying. Something Augustine the Fourth or something like that. What if I just put 4? Nope. That doesn't work. Do I have to go like IV? Nope, that doesn't work either. Not very well. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Or it's a g. There we go. Grand Arbiter Augustin. I thought, okay. I didn't get it. So okay, let's say you go turn 1 Plains, turn 1 Jeweled Lotus, Grand Arbiter Augustin, turn 1. Oh, beautiful. White spells you cost 1 less to cast. Blue spells cost 1 less. Spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. That is just great. We can see this turn 1 now with Jeweled Lotus. That's reality we now live in. This is going to be miserable. And then, of course, the Grand Arbiter deck is going to be way ahead on mana because they got this thing out first. I mean, everyone else's Jeweled Lotus is now going to cost 1. And then on top of that, they still have to pay a tax for the commander itself. Reality says, that's my type of commander. And Mikey J says, Augustine is bullshit. Or it's Augustin. Augustin? I want to say it's Augustine. Anyway, that's the reality we live in now with Jeweled Lotus. Let's see what the competitive, the CEDH players do with this thing. Imagine Emery with this fucking Lotus. It's possible. Although Emery is not, like, I don't think the most oppressive card. If someone's building a deck around Emery, you can just kill Emery. Turn 1 Emery. Emery doesn't really do anything turn 1. It puts cards from the library into the graveyard. I think you can deal with it. But Grand Arbiter, that has an immediate impact on the game. Anything your opponents do is now more expensive. In fact, they may not even do anything turn 1 because you have this thing in play. So just wondering how people feel about the Jeweled Lotus. I may not have the audience for this, but I'm sure there's definitely some Commander players out there. You get treasure instead of your opponent drawing cards. I guess the card denial. Where is it? Oh no, Hull Breacher is here. I guess the denial is the most important part of Hull Breacher. So here's the deal. If an opponent would draw a card except the first one that they draw each draw step, that has some implications with Brainstorm, because what Brainstorm says is you draw 3 cards and you put 2 cards back from your hand back on top of your library. So if someone plays Brainstorm and in response you play Hull Breacher, they'll draw 0 cards, and then they're going to put 2 cards from their hand back on top of their library, because that's what Brainstorm says. So you get 3 treasure tokens instead of them drawing cards, and then they lose 2 more cards. If I were the Delver player, I would just, in response to this card, just daze my own Brainstorm and not pay the 1, so you don't have to sacrifice 2 more cards. It's the way I look at it. It's competitive if you play to win. Wait, doesn't this shut down draw engines in Legacy? It will. Oh, here we got some people helping me figure out what the hell this our Arbiter's name was. I actually like the fast mana Soul Ring, Mana Vault Crypt, just not their price points. Everyone loves fast mana until they use it to combo off. Fast mana rocks do not belong in Commander. Okay, so we have some hard opinions on this. I don't know how this benefits the game. I mean, okay, so I mean, if you want my brutal opinion, I don't know if this really benefits the game. It's obviously something that has to be an auto include in a lot of Commander decks. You just have to buy it, and it's going to be outrageously expensive, of course. I don't know how this really helps the game at all, except that it may push out, I don't know, Chrome Mox at some point. If they keep making mana rocks like this, it'll push out a lot of other ones, because you can only have so many in your Commander deck. But like, I think the mana rocks that exist right now are fine. It's good enough, more than good enough. And throwing more of them in here is just somewhat unnecessary. But that's just my non-Commander opinion. Imagine Emery. They go into every deck, and the point is to have diverse decks. So I don't know if it's going into every deck. I think it's going to go into most decks. Like, let's say we have a Commander that costs like 1 generic, a blue, green, and a red. This probably doesn't really fit in that deck very well. Or if your Commander is Sliver Queen, this card will be useless. So I mean, it's going to go into most decks, but it's not going to go into every deck. So because it can only be 3 mana of 1 color. So I mean, you want to crack this to add 1 red for your Sliver Queen? Yeah, it only works to cast your Commander, but that's like the most important card in the game. It's the most important card. I mean, that's why it's called Commander. Good morning, John. Decide. Is this going to be a problem in 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1? You're going to get all the hate for the next 3 games if you pull a turn 1 Augustin. Maybe you might get all the hate, but maybe that person can deal with it. I mean, they're going to be slowed down by a lot, and maybe they'll keep putting up more stacks-like effects. Partner cards with Lotus and Emery seems cool. What else do we have here? Can you comment on a vintage card like Jeweled Lotus, but to cast creatures only, it away around the reserve list? They could probably do that. It would get around the reserve list. Like Black Lotus is specifically casts anything. So I think this opens up the design for more of those types of Lotuses. Lotus that only casts creatures. I would like to see a black Dark Ritual that only casts creatures. I think Dark Ritual, the meaning of it has been completely lost. I think the point of Dark Ritual, when they originally designed this card, was to cast creatures very quickly. And now it is to cast, to enable Storm. So I would love to see Dark Ritual reprinted, but it says add black, black, black. Only use this mana to cast creatures, and I think it would be fair, like a very fair card. Dark Ritual is not particularly fair because this is not for creatures anymore. It's now strictly for you might even be able to make a higher mana cost. You could have a Dark Ritual for maybe quadruple black and make it creatures. But the point is, like, this is strictly for a Storm deck these days, or a combo deck of some sort. Any combo deck that needs fast mana.
So I mean, anyway, they made the jeweled Lotus, so I think they could most definitely go like a little step further and say, oh yeah, we can have a black Lotus for creatures. We can have a black Lotus for instants and sorceries. I'm surprised they didn't make it legendary. I guess I guess it's redundant if it's specifically for Commander. This seems like a legendary thing, though, right? So technically, you can copy this. Whatever, that's the only advantage. I'm excited for Jeweled Lotus. I play a Kess Storm deck, and turn 2 cast sounds great. Isn't that the... But can't like say like is this the Kess you're talking about? Because I don't know how do you utilize the Jeweled Lotus so well? It's just basically 2 mana rock, or is that good enough? Maybe that's good enough compared to the other mana rocks that are available in EDH. My pod plays so M515 says. Their pod plays competitive EDH. It's a ton of fun. CDH is great. By the way, I can recommend the Spike Feeders as a competitive EDH YouTube channel. What else? I don't know where oh, here we go. The mana can only be spent on your commander. In my opinion, the ramp is overrated. Let's get back to Jeweled Lotus. The ramp is overrated. If your play group is nice, you should survive long enough to get the lands out. Ramp is power in EDH. Mana is power. To be fair, it's not much better if all the Mana Crypt. Well, Mana Crypt deals damage to you. It's a very different breed of card. But it's good. It's obviously good. And you get that mana every single turn. Jeweled Lotus is just a one-time shot. Yeah, so people underestimate you if you don't ramp and leave you alone. I mean, it's a very political thing, Commander. Absolutely. You don't do much. People don't do anything to you. Oh, he's got 2 mana rocks. Get him. Go get him. Put him back to his place. He's got 4 more mana than the rest of us. Who knows what he's gonna do? He can win the game next turn. Blada asks, did you see the new 3-drop for Legacy? Did I? Yes, I did. Toll Breacher. I don't know if it's a good Legacy card, though. Maybe it's good for denying the player cards when they brainstorm. It's definitely worth exploring. This card has very few useful homes. I think it can still be played in a lot of Commander decks. But when it comes to something like Kess, I don't think you can get Kess out turn 2. So the color-intensive commanders, they're screwed. But the non-color-intensive commanders, like my beautiful Thassa here... Oops, no, this is the wrong Thassa. It's not a bad Thassa. I can get this thing out and play on turn 1. Easily. Oh, Thassa, we are going to scry and make things unblockable once again. Eventually. Damn, I'm late again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Grim Ducky. Right, but Soul Ring being legal isn't an argument when Soul Ring also should be banned. Yeah, Soul Ring is a funny card, isn't it? This looks like a card that should be banned in the formats, but I don't know. It's just around. This is just Commander. This is how it is. I mean, I think it's ridiculous just staring at it right now. Or is it safe for Legacy? Can we have Soul Ring in Legacy? I need to go through that. I need to go through that Legacy banned list. There's a lot of funny stuff on there. We're gonna unban everything in Legacy. We're gonna make Legacy vintage. Did you see Hull Breacher? Yeah, I did see Hull Breacher. Maybe we should have another discussion about Hull Breacher. All right, Hull Breacher, 3 mana, 3/2 flash Merfolk. I don't think there's a huge benefit to getting the tokens. I could be wrong, by the way. Merfolk is a clunky deck. Maybe if we have a bunch of stuff in our hand, getting these artifacts are going to be nice, because the artifacts are Lotus Petals, right? Let me make sure that they're Lotus Petal.
Sacrifice Lotus Petal. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. That's exactly what the treasure tokens do. So the treasure tokens, you can sacrifice the artifact, add 1 mana of any color. And the idea is you screw over Brainstorm. And other effects like this. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. But the problem is you're not allowed to draw the 3 cards beyond the first card that you draw for the turn. So what you're going to end up doing is drawing nothing. You can draw nothing. I get the treasure tokens. And then you got to put 2 cards back from your hand on top of your library. So you just 0 for 3 to yourself. You gain nothing and you lost 3 cards. The Brainstorm and 2 more cards from your hand. Nice play. So anyway, that's the value of Hull Breacher at the moment. If that can really get pulled off. I don't know. What does Ponder say specifically? I think it doesn't draw too many cards. It's just like 1 card. It's look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library and draw a card. Gotcha. I think Lotus is still right in the 70% of decks. I think Lotus is going to see a lot of play. There's no doubt about it. I think Lotus is going to be jammed in like almost every deck. Keep in mind, there's a lot of commanders that are just outrageously expensive. People play like 7 mana commanders, and just adding like a random 3 mana for it would be very useful to them. I would not ban Solar Ring. I think the commander ban list is very bizarre looking. I totally understand. I heard the commander players cringe at the banned list, like it doesn't make any sense, and I can totally agree. Magic has moved away from the battlefield, unfortunately. Yeah, you could say, well, depends on the format. I could say anything beyond Modern is really moved away from the battlefield, but Modern is still a battlefield format. And even some degree Standard as well. Could they print non-fetchable dual lands? Yes, I think they. I mean, they basically are, aren't they? Oh, you just want specifically a dual land that couldn't be fetched. That might be. Would that be an upgrade? The fact that they have a basic land type means they get nailed by like Choke and Boil and Acid Rain and all these other effects that affect basic lands. Do you know what? Maybe they can't. I was thinking, like, at first, yeah, maybe they can. Maybe they can't. Magic, from my perspective, has moved towards the battlefield. This is how I feel, at least for Modern. It's a very battlefield-centric format. Hull Breacher is blue and gives access to any color, so maybe if you play with Oko, the tokens can be 3/3 Elks. There you go. That's possible. Solar Ring is tolerated because it's $2, because they made it $2. They could have not like they printed Solar Ring a million times. Let's see all the printings of Solar Ring. Where's Solar Ring? Where are you? Look at all these reprintings. Commander Collection, Zendikar Rising Commander, Commander 2020, Mystery Booster, Commander 2019, Magic Fest 2019, Commander 2018, Commander Anthology Volume 2, Commander 2017, Commander Anthology. The Wall of Soul Ring. The Wall of Soul Ring. Look at all those Soul Rings. And anything with this art is the new one. They reprinted the crap out of this thing. What version of Soul Ring do you own? I believe I have an unlimited Soul Ring. I think I have this one. This is my Soul Ring. I own an unlimited Soul Ring. But maybe people have fancier Soul Rings out there. Let me know in the comments section what Soul Ring that you own. Be proud of your Soul Ring. Soul Ring might be the most printed non-land card at this point. It could be. A fetch land that produces white mana. Would that be too good of a new fetch design? Holy crap, that would be insane. So you have a fetch land that you don't actually have to sacrifice to find mana, and so you don't have to pay life. It's like a super fetch land. I mean, it's new, it's possible, but like, it's insane. I think that's really good. But you know what? That is interesting design. How about the fetch sucks? Like, you have to fetch, you have to pay life, and the card comes into the battlefield tapped, but you can add mana with that fetch land. That would be interesting design. And maybe you can only fetch, like, let's say it can add white mana, but when you fetch, you can only find another, like, plains source, like only a plains. Not exactly like a basic plains, but can be like Temple Garden, Sacred Foundry, etc. So it's like more narrow for the advantage of being able to add mana even when it doesn't fetch. Probably OP though. I had a revised ring, but I have a commander one now. What is the commander one? You mean just one of these generic commander ones? This is the digital one. Whew. Masterpiece Soul Ring. That must be money. I really like the new one. I really like this new one. I like the art in that one, the top left. Beta Soul Rings are like, isn't it like $1 billion? Beta. Oh, it's $400. That's probably cheap. That's probably cheap. $400 for one of the most iconic cards in Commander. That sounds actually quite affordable. Lotus will be a problem because it won't be accessible. Define accessible. I'm like reserved list accessible or like just regular Magic card accessible. It's going to be like Mana Drain. They're going to milk this thing for money every so often. Mana Drain just got a reprint. It's coming out in the new Commander set. So like, is it expensive? Sure, it's like $144, but like they'll keep printing it at the $144 range. My Soul Ring is unlimited as well. Oh, we are unlimited buddies. We are the unlimited buddies. It's like revised, but it's a little bit darker. Okay, what we got? Foil, the foil Command Fest, Magic Fest one. Which one that? I think that was it this one? No. I feel like it's missing a Soul Ring here. I feel like a Soul Ring is missing. Is it this one? I think it's that one. I have a couple Expedition Soul Rings because you can't have too many Soul Rings. The Expedition Soul Ring is here. That's a very fancy Soul Ring. I speculated a fetch land that produced colorless and only fetched for one land type. See, that actually sounds fair. Like that, it sounds like realistic design. I wonder if they would still want to print something that fetches. I guess they would. They printed Fabled Passage. So the producing colorless thing sounds very interesting. Probably, to be brutally honest, it seems like the fetch lands only need to search for one basic land type. The fact that they can search for two basically means it can search for any land. But it would literally be restrictive if it's only one land type. If price was a concern, Tabernacle should be banned. Oh, there's all sorts of cards that should be banned because of price. But if that's the case, they should just ban everything on the reserve list. Also, Time Twister isn't banned for some reason. Oh yeah, Time Twister. That's a bizarre. Like I was getting into Commander, and then I'm like, okay, how much does Time Twister cost? Oh, okay. If you can't see, it's 2,000. Unlimited is $2,864. This is literally more money now than regular power cards. Like, you know, what is even a Sapphire right now? Because this card doesn't see play in like hardly anywhere. Okay, hold on. Unlimited is $3,000 on the nose. I don't know where they're getting these prices from, but I mean, I believe it. 3,000 versus, oh, this is just a little under that. I could have swore Time Twister was more expensive than some power cards. Let's look up Mox Ruby, a really crappy Mox. Who wants? No one loves Mox Ruby. See? Oh, it's still $3,000. What is going on here? Someone back me up on this. I'm not crazy. Time Twister is more expensive than some pieces of power.
Yeah, but not every deck plays those. A lot of decks do, though. Fetch land that grabs a land that produces white mana means you can fetch Seachrome Coast or Temple Garden. No, I meant like you can't make it like that. Then it's just an OP land. It needs to find a plains. But it's not a plains itself. I mean, if it was not $2, people would complain about ban Soul Ring every day. But they complain about ban all sorts of other cards every day. The masterpiece is like $300. According to this site, it's $441 with a star attached to it. So maybe there's some special circumstances regarding the star. TCG, tell us something about this card. The foil is $441. Are you nuts? This product is currently out of stock. Everyone jumped in on Soul Ring. You heard that? There's no more Soul Rings left on the market. They've all been bought. They're gone. So this price might be inflated because of the buyout. That's crazy. Why aren't they buying out Ether Vial? Where's my Kaladesh invention? Damn it. Price of this thing is not moving. It does not move. Show me. If anything, it's moving down. The price has been flat for years, which I guess this is okay. The product is also currently out of stock. People finally buy out this Ether Vial? People find the value in this? Is this just BSing me? That's all good. Let's get back to reality. Look at the wall of solar. The wall of Soul Ring. Everyone has a Soul Ring. I just learned of an old card called Quicksilver Fountain. Think it's worth playing in Merfolk Tribal EDH? I guess. I know what the card is. It's 3 mana. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts a flood counter on target non-island he or she controls. That land is an island as long as it has a flood counter on it. And end of turn, if all lands in play are islands, remove all flood counters from them. It's a funny design card. I guess it's okay, but I mean, I think you can do fine with like cards like Spreading Seas or like Tidal Warrior. The thing is, it's 3 mana. I guess it might screw with their mana or something, but it seems a bit clunky. It's playable though. You absolutely could definitely play it in EDH. My hubby took it to use in their old school deck, so I don't get to play with it. Oh, you mean the Soul Ring? Like 93, 94? I think I'd rather not spend 15 minutes negotiating what is and isn't okay to play every time I want to play a game. That's why a ban list exists. This is why we run. Well, this is the thing about competitive EDH. I think competitive EDH has their own different philosophy on how the game should be played. And they should have their own, like they should very specifically have their own rules committee to police their format, because it seems very, at least from an outside perspective, it seems very clear that the rules committee is not in the looking out for the best interests of the competitive players that actually want to play a competitive format. Just a question for any of the competitive players out there: do they like that Time Twister exists? Do they like that reserved list cards exist in the format? I can't remember their perspective on this situation. Why is Time Twister power? Because it is now more expensive than it is as expensive as most power, or if not more. Time Twister is power because of Tolarian Academy and Narset. Isn't this like a combo with Narset? Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. But if you have Narset out, you're just like, okay, I get to draw 7 cards. You all get to draw 1 card. So anyway, these sort of Wheel of Fortune-like effects, or Time Twister effects in that case, are really good with, good combos with some other cards like Narset. Oh, there we go. Balada says Mox Pearl is cheaper than Time Twister. Nobody loves you, Mox Pearl. Nobody loves you! Time Twister is more expensive than you. We finally found something cheaper than Time Twister. That's why Time Twister is now power. Well, at the time, Time Twister I don't think was that expensive, but through Commander, now it's like really, really good. I lost all my unlimited cards for 93, 94 format by significant other. You lose them all to there. It's still really fun to play that format. I am. The format does intrigue me because there seems to be enough Merfolk to make a Merfolk deck, but they should have 93, 94 online. There should be a format they should create online, like officially online. I can play like I would like to play leagues with competitive Commander. I would also like that if that was available. You can only play there's only Ponyland queues. New fish, draw 7, 21. Yeah. You want a Time Twister, everyone? Okay, that's fine. You don't get anything. And I get 21 Lotus petals. Bring it on. I didn't think about that. That's a good one. Yes. It's the new Merfolk is basically an Ocean Thief, but instead of us drawing cards, we get treasure tokens instead. Mikey J says, I think it'd be interesting to debate whether some cards should be cut and replaced in the Power 9, or even what card should go in an expanded Power 12 or 15. Oh, yeah, okay. So maybe we should we call it the Power 15? Because it's no longer the Power 9. What is the Power 9? Okay, Lotus, 5 Moxes, Ancestral Recall. Someone help us. Time Vault and Soul Ring are right on the edge of Power 9. Well, in that case, Soul Ring would be the cheapest Power 9 card of all of them. Soul Ring is better than a lot of power. It just happened to be an uncommon, so it never got super crazy. Okay, we got Time. Okay, Time Walk. Totally forgot about that one. Okay, so hold on. Let's roll call. Black Lotus. That's one. That's one power card. Okay, next. Mox Pearl. Mox Ruby. Mox Ruby is going to be number 3. Number 4, Mox Jet. Number 5, Mox Sapphire. Number 6, Mox Emerald. Oops, I did not spell that correctly. I could name this one. Can you name the Power 9? Obviously, I can't. Okay, then we got Time Walk as number 7. Ancestral Recall, right? So it is Time Twister part of the Power 9? I was just calling it the part of the Power 9 because it's so expensive now, but I didn't know if it was a part of the original Power 9. Okay. It is part of the Power 9. There you go. Now Time Twister is moving up in price because it's actually one of the very few pieces of... This just proves that being able to play with the card actually adds a lot of value to the card. Who knows how expensive Black Lotus could be if you literally could play Black Lotus in Commander. So now there's the discussion, what could be added to the Power 9? We've got Tolarian Academy or Tinker. I guess Tinker could be power.
The effect is just ridiculous. For 3 mana, all you have to do is sacrifice an artifact, and you can just put an artifact into play. But I don't know. Is that really that powerful? I mean, I don't think it's all that... I guess it's a tutor. It is more lethal than, say, Show and Tell, where you need the actual win condition in your hand. This is just any random card in play can be tutored. Oh, Gaia's Cradle most definitely should... I think Gaia's Cradle is like a very broken card. This is a bannable card in a lot of form. I don't even know why this card is... How do they let Tolarian Academy get banned, but Gaia's Cradle is okay? Like, what the hell is up with that? This is an outrageously ridiculous card. This is not a reasonable card at all, and it's getting reflected in the price. $652 US. Jeez. Investing in reserve list lands, that was a mistake. You should get Gaia's Cradles. Yawgmoth's Will. Really? Is it really that bad? Oh, W. Oh, I was thinking of a different card. Okay, I understand this one. Yeah, until end of turn, you play cards from your graveyard. But this isn't that much different from the Breach card. Naming the Power 9 is very easy if you started playing in 96. Time Vault. Wasn't this card, like, not a big deal until they printed Voltaic Key? How does this work? Enters battlefield tapped. Doesn't untap during your untap step. If you would begin your turn while Time Vault is tapped, you may skip that turn instead. If you do, untap Time Vault. So it basically takes an extra... you skip a turn every single turn. How does this work naturally? Okay, you pay 2. It ETB's tapped. It doesn't untap during your untap step. But if you would begin your turn while it's tapped, so you're going to skip your next turn. So this card is only broken if... Is there other cards that break this in half? Like, without Voltaic Key, this just seems like a bad way of getting... a bad way of getting extra turns. Voltaic Servant. The new key also works. Okay, I'm just going to trust there's a lot of these Voltaic Key effects. Manifold. Voltaic Key. The new key. Manifold. Someone's nominating Deathrite Shaman to be part of the Power 16. It wasn't good back in the day. Don't think there was a way to abuse it back then. Probably not. Mana Vault. You want to put Grim Monolith on this thing too? Necropotence. Isn't that legal in Commander? Isn't this legal in Commander? Am I not mistaken? I mean, I have no interest in playing the card. How expensive is this card? Well, this thing costs money now. I used to have many Necropotences. I always found that that's a very bizarre card to have legal in Commander, especially since you've got 40 life to work with. Yeah, I'll just draw 40 fucking cards. Or no, well, not 40 cards because that's a little bit too much. But, I'll just draw 30 cards and probably can win the game with that. Bazaar of Baghdad. Oh. Beautiful art. Draw 2 cards, then discard 3 cards. Outside of Dredge, is this playable? Just out of curiosity. Like, does any other outside of Dredge, does any, if we ban the Dredge mechanic, would this card see a whole lot of play? Oh, there are many different Bazaar decks? Okay. I'm not familiar with what's going on in Vintage. Madness decks? Are they actually good? What are the basic criteria for power? Is it cost, busted effect, or some combination? Oh, Tabernacle. You had to get in on this card a long time. I wanted to own this card, and now I won't. And you know what? I just accept that. This card is going to be out of my reach for forever. $1,947 to tax my opponent's creatures by 1. No, no thank you. Strip mine? I don't think this is power worthy. I mean, it's the best wasteland, sure. Oh yeah, workshop. Okay, this definitely should be on the power 16. I don't know how this is not in the discussion. Look at this. Add 3. It's a Lotus land, right? It's basically black Lotus for on a land for your artifact spells. Add 3 mana. Spend this mana only to cast artifact spells. You see, that's what cards look like when you restrict them to just one card. And it was on a land. That's insane. Yeah, it costs money. Misha's workshop is just is bananas. Is the OG. I remember playing standard type 2 with 4 Dark Ritual, 4 Necropotence, 4 Strip Mine, and 4 Hymn to Turok. Now that was magic. I'm sure it was a hell of a different time back then. Your Strip Mine probably didn't look as good because someone could still Ritual another Necropotence into play. I don't think so. I want to say it's banned. I'm pretty sure it's banned. But I'm not 100% sure. Workshop is legal? Add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool. This mana may be used to cast artifacts. Holy crap. That's nuts. Isn't the idea of the Power 9 that they're all cards from Alpha? I think so, and that they were really powerful. But since then, we've discovered that there are even more powerful cards, or as powerful cards, printed in later sets. Like Mishra's Workshop is a very similar power-like effect. And the price reflects it. You know, you can get this card cheaper. Just ban it in... No, if it's actually legal in... Maybe the price is way more strong. Oh, it is. It's legal in Commander. It's probably that expensive because it's legal in Commander. Thassa's Oracle for Power 12. From Alpha at Rare was the original condition. But it needs to be expanded to even cards like this. Green Sun Zenith? No, not at all. Not even close. Hello, Grev. All right. We had a cool discussion about how to expand the Power 9. It's time for Decklist review. So, everything is a little... Everything's changed a little bit. Everything's in like a different direction. Or maybe I can do it here. I want my old set. I moved... I like swapped my monitors for the sake of my brother so he can be over here. But he's not here today, so to hell with him. Okay, so now I'm back to my normal thing. Okay, so if you want to submit a deck list, I know a lot of people already have. You can use the command ! Deck review space, give the URL to your deck list, and then leave any comments. Let me know, is it a budget deck? What format is it? Give me an idea what you need help with. You want help with the sideboard, with your main deck? You looking for, like, does your curve look good? You can always ask those questions, and I will get back to them. And as we are waiting for people to submit their decks, we are, of course, going to thank our sponsors, starting with the manabase.com. The Manabase, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And the Manabase, of course, is sponsored by Fusion Gaming Online, my favorite local game store. And their deal of the week this week, save 25% off old board games. I don't know what board games they have, but that seems to be the deal of the week this week. Save 25% off old board games. We've got Zwanders, Small World Warcraft, Code Names, Spirit Island, Gloomhaven. They got it all.
I know they sell board games. I've never looked into it. And of course, we are also going to thank our sponsor, Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online and the best way for you to be able to play test your brews and your new ideas in an actual modern format with other players playing with tier decks. And you can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or you can save yourself 15% off by using my 15% off the first 3 months by using my coupon code Nikachu. And let's get into Decklist review. Just a little bit discombobulated here. Okay, so exclamation point, deck review, pick. 5x5's Decklist has been chosen. Just a bit of fun, not serious, quite a bit out of the date for the current modern metagame. So sounds like an old idea. Oh, green-white Soul Sisters. Well, right then. Where am I supposed to put everything? Oh, this is supposed to be over here. This is supposed to be over here. Oh, and I'll leave the command up for anyone who wants to submit a deck list as well. All right. Green White Soul Sisters. Do you have a good win condition? Johnny's Pride Mate. Angel of Vitality. If you would gain life, you gain... I think I saw something like this very similar before. Oh, no. Okay, now I remember where I remember this card, because I tried to play it in Angel Tron. Turns out there's not a lot of angels to cast with Tron mana. Essence Warden. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Hasda Marshal. Whenever Marshal and at least 2 other creatures attack, create a 1/1 soldier token with lifelink. Not too bad. Knight of Autumn. Nice. Gain some life. Destroy things. Destroy artifacts or enchantments. Put +1/+1 counters on it. Linden of the Steadfast Queen. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life. Sarah Ascendant. As long as you have 30 or more. Okay, so you have some payoff if you have enough life. Soul Warden. Soul's Attendant. Forest. Horizon Canopy. Plains, Razorverge Thicket, Temple Garden, Windswept Heath, Path to Exile, Sideboard Johnny, Auroch Champion. 4. You want 4 of these. You want 4 of these. I don't care what you take out. You want 4. 4. 4 Auroch Champion. You need as many Auroch Champions as you can get in this metagame. Don't skimp on the Auroch Champion. I don't know any deck skimping on Auroch Champion. They are fools. They're fools in this metagame. Okay, I understand this might be an old list, and you did not have the foresight of all the Death Shadow and Mono Red prowess of today's metagame. But I assure you, 4 of them is the number. 4. Kick something out. Kick out a Johnny if you have to. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control. Maybe kick out a Johnny. Collector If is fine. Damping Sphere is totally fine as well. Rest in Peace is great. Scavenging Ooze is okay. And Stony Silence is fine. You might not need this much artifact hate. I don't know what the artifact hate was for. Or maybe you could have scrapped some Auroch Champions for Stony Silence. So a card, I think... Well, maybe I'm wrong. You know, a card that probably works well in this deck. You should just have the combo. What's it called? I mean, I would be changing the deck a lot if I recommend this, but you should just have what's it called, the Heliod combo. So you make room for a few of Heliod Sun Crowns. Indestructible. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. So you can, you're gaining a bunch of life from a bunch of different sources. And then this thing can be a huge creature, and it can make your other creatures bigger. And whenever you gain life, they just get bigger. And you can play with walking ballista. I don't know how many, but you play with some number of walking ballista, and you also play with what is the 3-mana tutor? 3-mana, 3/3 creature. You can sack it. Your opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn.
You'd have to gut a decent chunk of cards out of your deck, but it could be worth it. I don't remember what the card is called, though. Somebody help me. That's what you guys are here for. You help me fill in the cracks. Jaybird's like, I don't know, LOL. Neither do I. That's why I'm putting it all on everyone else. Ranger, Captain of Eos. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. And this is already played in those decks. But the point is, you can play it and you can search your library for convert mana cost 1 or less, reveal it, and shuffle your library. And you can look for Walking Ballista, but you can also look for a lot of your like other high impactful 1-drops like Sarah's Ascendant if you're already over the 30 life total, or if you just need more life gain effects, just grab one of these. It's a 2-for-1, basically. But you also have the advantage of interacting with combo decks because you can sacrifice that your opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn. Maybe it has some other abilities, like maybe you can sacrifice it against a control deck at their upkeep, so they can't cast Supreme Verdict that very turn. Maybe it has or Planeswalkers. I'm sure there's a lot of utility. Some cards you could take out for this combo. I don't know. Angel of Vitality is not very impressive, to be honest. If you gain 1 life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead. This card's okay. I don't know if it's great, though. I like Pride Mage a lot. The Marshal is okay. Maybe Marshal is good. I'm not sure. Knight of Autumn. I like Knight of Autumn. I would keep it. So maybe this card is replaceable. Angel of Vitality is replaceable. I like Knight of Autumn, actually. Destroying artifacts or enchantments are actually pretty good right now. Whenever a white creature you control attacks, you gain 1 life. This card is okay. So you're going to have a lot of creatures you don't actually want to attack with. And you just don't. So I'm not sure what all the cuts are. Because I guess you don't need Essence Warden, but you are a green-white deck, right? Oh, I see you're actually very light on green. Most of your green is actually in the sideboard. You actually don't even have that. Oh, no, you have a little bit more green. I might dump the Essence Warden. It doesn't seem to be that mandatory. And you can put in this combo. Otherwise, you can just maybe scrap this. Aside from that, you can just scrap this 1 Angel and maybe put in only Heliod as an upgrade. Because I don't really believe in this card being all that good. It's like the card's awkward for the most part, and then you can change everything else. Maybe those are my suggestions. And this combo is like really, really strong right now. Yeah, bye-bye, Angel. Bye-bye. Sorry, Angel. You weren't that great in Angeltron, and I don't think you're going to be very good here either. 2/2 creature dies to everything. Literally dies to everything, unless you have 25 life already. Good morning, Rodent. All right, so thank you very much for that deck list, 5x5. And now, let's go to the next one. Balada's deck list. This is Lurrus, Abzan, Taxes, just trying to build something interesting for Modern. It's probably good. Oh, whoops, this doesn't work the way I want it to. Lurrus, Abzan, Taxes. Auriok Champion in the main deck. The main deck. That's how good this card is. Balada wants to put it right in the main deck. Charming Prince. Great card. Scry 2, gain 3 life, exile another creature. Basically blanket. Dark Confidant, Giver of Runes, Leonin Arbiter, Tarmogoyf, Thalia, Tide Hollow Sculler, Voice of Resurgence.
Concealed Courtyard, Ghost Quarter, Horizon Canopy, Razor Verge Thicket, Silent, Clearing, Snow-Covered Plains, Ether Vial, Smuggler's Copter, 4 Path to Exile, 2 Bitter Blossom. Neat. Okay, and you do get to use Lurrus here. Okay, so first off, I don't like Bitter Blossom. I basically whenever I see Bitter Blossom in any list that someone presents to me, I'm like, take it out, scrap it. You lose life. You don't do anything impactful on the first turn of the game. You make a bunch of really weak creatures, so you don't have a very good clock. I think it's just all around doesn't do enough. It was good in standard. This is not standard. This is modern now. Would you use Dreadhorde Invasion, though, for zombies, like a sack outlet? Dreadhorde Invasion? I'll quickly answer this question. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and amass 1. Whenever a zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. I wouldn't play this card in Modern. It's just way too slow, too clunky. The beginning of, like a sack outlet. It's not a sack outlet. You're talking about like giving, you mean sack food for sacking. Yeah, I would just rather have zombies have enough stuff that comes back from the graveyard between Gravecrawler and Geralf's Messenger that I wouldn't play this card. It's too slow for Modern. Same principle as Bitter Blossom. Just get rid of it. It's too slow. 2 mana, do nothing, and then lose life. This needs to gain life, and you need to get like a 1/2 creature or something. You have evasion, though, Bellata. You've got evasion. I would play a 3rd Smuggler's Copter over this if I had to. You have evasion if you need evasion. I would just play more of these. That's what I would do. So Giver of Runes turns out to be really good. I would have a 4th one of these. So I could gut 2 Bitter Blossoms, add 1 Smuggler's Copter, add 1 more Giver of Runes. Pretty strong card. Don't know how good I feel about Dark Confidant. I don't feel good about Dark Confidant for the most part. Is that the reason we're splashing black, or is there anything else here? No, Tidehallow Sculler is a great card. Dark Confidant is like in the same like Dark Confidant is a good if it doesn't die, it's good. I will say this. If Dark Confidant doesn't die, it's good. Maybe, okay, so maybe if you have an extra Giver of Runes, this card gets a lot better. If Dark Confidant, if you get to untap with Dark Confidant, if you promise me that you can untap with Dark Confidant, this is a good card. The problem is you can't be guaranteed that happens. And if you play, I mean, it's very vulnerable to any removal spell, right? Including Lava Dart, which is pretty bad. When you tax your opponent, it's a super solid card to have evasion as well. Yeah, I think evasion is very important. It's also great to discard for Copter for Goyf. I'm surprised. I was about to say, I was surprised you don't have Stoneforge Mystic, but you can't. Because I had the same problem with my Vampire list. You want to play Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic costs 2 mana, but the equipment don't. They cost too much. So, okay, this cannot play Stoneforge Mystic. That's fine. So I would I would pay attention, really. I would pay very close attention to this Dark Confidant. Make sure it's worth being in this list, because I think the rest of it is fine. I really like the idea that you can destroy stuff and play a Tarmogoyf. Like, you can, like, Ghost Quarter or fill the graveyard with lands, kill some stuff. You'll be in good shape. Purge, Gadok Teague, Relic Warder. ETB steals artifacts or enchantments until it leaves the battlefield. Nihil Spellbomb, Stony Silence. 3 thoughts these 2 Veil. Oh yeah, you get to utilize Veil of Summer. Okay, what is your mana base? Because you're playing a 3-color deck with Ghost Quarter. That's got to be sketchy. Or it doesn't have to be sketchy, but it sounds awkward. So Concealed Court. If you have, I think, what is the, with Ether Vial, if you have 4, if you have
14 sources with Ether Vial, I'm sold. So I'm sure the one that you have the most of is white. You do? Okay, how about black? We have 4. 7. Not a lot. We don't have a lot of black sources here, Balada. How about green? 2. 6. Not a lot. We don't have a mana base to support these three colors, Balada. We don't have a mana base at all. Yeah, Thalia, why no Lurrus with Bobble in this list? Thalia, we don't have a mana base. You can't play with basic land. You probably, first off, you can't play with the basic lands. Second off, you might need a few more lands, or you don't play with Ghost Quarter. Mana base needs work. Okay, take out the Dark Confidant, add 2 more lands. You probably can't play with basic lands in this list. 4. Oh, and you have so many Horizon lands. This is very painful. Yeah, take out Dark Confidant. Or take out the Auriok Champion, put in the sideboard. You need to go to 22 lands. You got to look at this like a... Think of it this way. You have to look at Ghost Quarter like a spell. You can't look at it like mana. Especially since, well, your deck is not too mana intensive. There's a lot of stuff that require, like, this uses a generic, this uses generic. That's it. So a decent chunk of cards can use the Ghost Quarter. But, like, overall, you need to start, okay, you have Concealed Courtyard, Rager Verge Thicket. What is you need the Golgari one. What's the Golgari one? Or you can add 3 shock lands, 1 of each part of the color pie, and then a bunch of fetch lands. But then if you use fetch lands, you get screwed by your own Leonid Arbiter. We have Concealed Courtyard, we have Rager Verge Thicket, but we don't have the Golgari one. But I don't remember what it's called. All right, everyone. What's the Blooming Marsh. Blooming Marsh. All right. Now, let's say we replaced one of these Horizon Canopies and 3 of the Plains with Blooming Marsh. Well, now, what are the numbers? We would have 4, 8, 11. It's close. Maybe we got to replace one Ghost Quarter with something too. And then how about the green? We would have 1, 5, 9. Okay, yeah, and then you got D-Monster says you can run up to 3 fetches and be okay. All right. So you got to cut something from the main for more lands if you want to go. Like you're pretty borderline just to cast double white spells in the stack. So cut the Auriok Champion or Dark Confidant and then add enough. I'll just say make sure you have somewhere 12 would be comfortable. If you make sure you have 12 of each color in your mana base, I think that would be okay. And that's it. Yeah, your mana base cannot support any of this. Or very poorly. I think you want between 11 and 12. I know from my Merfolk point of view, 10, or was it 10 sources? No, so 10 sources should be good enough. 4 Botanical Sanctum, 4 Cavern of Souls, and 2 Horizon lands. So if you can get to 10, where are we here? Black 4, 7. Yeah, you just probably have to scrap the basic lands because you're a 3-color deck. You just can't do it. You're just gonna lose to you don't auto lose to Blood Moon. You got Ether Vial, you Smuggler's Copter, but like you're just gonna have to squeal. Just gonna have to tough it up when it happens, and just add more lands until you have about 10. I would say, okay, sorry, you should have about 10. 10 would be fine. 10 of each color, at least for black and green.
Yeah, I definitely have a little bit more on the white side for Auriok Champion. Maybe that's it. All right, that's the only feedback I have there. Blada, thank you very much for the list. All right, so that's going to be it for today. If I didn't get to your questions or your comments or your deck lists, don't forget that we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time at twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. And we do this every single day. And you always have a chance of getting your stuff on the spotlight. You better believe there are streamers out there just looking for those new, talented, fresh deck lists to brew and try in ideas for them to test out themselves in the Magic the Gathering online environment. So thank you very much, everyone who does submit and is part of the show. And yeah, that's going to be it. Who are we going to raid today? We need to raid somebody. Where we've got... Let's raid Caleb Schur. Caleb Schur is a fantastic combo player. Ask him about Jeweled Lotus. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I will see you at the next cup. Take care, and see you next time.